Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
We got a couple weeks of content to catch up on, but for the most part, Raw and Smackdown have been building towards the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up in just a few short weeks. May 10th is the air date for that. It's also a little different this year, but in due time we will get to each and every one of those. But for now, let's take a look over on the SmackDown side of things at their Universal Championship, because we've got our feud laid out now of where we're heading in the short term.
And it's a pretty logical feud for an emergency feud.
Bray Wyatt and his former family member, who now has the Universal Championship, Braun Strowman.
I guess... and Bray's been playing the mind games with his former black sheep.
Yeah, my only confusion around this is obviously Braun Strowman just captured the Universal title off Goldberg. The Fiend had just lost the belt to Goldberg. Who walks out the winner from this? Not necessarily this match, but this feud here. Because I don't know, Braun Strowman, big dude, just got a random emergency push for the title, and Bray Wyatt just copped a pretty hard loss.
Yeah, but then he got a pretty big win at WrestleMania.
Yeah. But are we going to go 50-50?
Honestly, I think this depends on who wins the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
Because I could honestly see the men's Money in the Bank being cashed in the same night it's won on.
Gotcha. Alright, well, we'll talk about the other men's match they could potentially cash in on if they won over on Raw, because the WWE Championship's also got a pretty decent feud laid down for one that's been put together, and that is Drew McIntyre, as the WWE Champion, defending against one Seth Rollins.
This is a pretty basic, I think, feud. It's logical. I think we all kind of felt that 99% of the time it was going to be Seth Rollins' Drew's first obstacle as WWE Champion.
Yeah, you're basically putting your top good guy, who's your champion, up against your top bad guy at the moment, other than Brock, and just letting the feud happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of weird, though, for him to be suddenly challenging for this title when he just got his butt handed to him by Kevin Owens, who I think is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the one confusing factor, but he's got the weirder sort of character that I think pulls it off in terms of, just pretend you're ignoring that the match ever happened and you'll be fine. I think the two will put on a fairly decent match. They're both good wrestlers in between the ropes. They're both good guys on the mic. But whether it's anything special or whether it's storyline by numbers, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see. I think this could actually be Seth's final match on Raw.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling we're probably going to be looking at a shakeup or a draft coming up here.
Okay.
And I could definitely see Seth going to SmackDown.
Yeah, I could definitely be down for that. I'll be interested to see if a shakeup happens, where everybody goes, because it's been a while. Maybe it is time. We've also got the SmackDown Women's Championship has laid down where they will be going, and that will be Bayley defending against Tamina. And Bayley extending her championship run one more pay-per-view.
Will she? I'm not saying Tamina will win.
Ah, yeah. Sorry,
But
one more win.
yeah, but if the men's briefcase isn't turned in, the women's definitely will be.
Okay. You're thinking one of them will be turned in that night.
Yeah. Especially if it turns out to be Sasha Banks that wins it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, we can jump into that. So, the Money in the Bank ladder matches this year are a little bit different. Basically, they will be held at WWE's corporate headquarters, and they will be dangling from the sky on the roof of the building, and competitors will have to fight from the bottom floor to get up to the top and then unlatch the briefcase.
Throw Jeff Hardy off the building.
It's a pretty tall building. I got a feeling, since I imagine it'll be pre-taped, nobody's going to be falling off the building too badly.
I didn't say that there wouldn't be a pad or something, or a big stump bag at the bottom.
I think there might still be a limit. I don't know exactly how tall the building is, but quite might be the answer.
This is the same building they did the Super Bowl commercial in.
Still,
And they threw somebody out the window in that one.
The building to the top is 25 meters or 85 feet. According to Wikipedia.
Put a large airbag and somebody could jump into it.
Okay.
They do that all the time in stunt work.
Yeah, but my worry lights are going off in the back of my head. There's like big red lights that are just like nee-nod. But that's WWE's decision. First, Jeff Hardy would have to get into the match because we're having a bunch of qualification matches this year, and the first of which for the men's match was Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
Yeah, and DB won, didn't he?
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's booked the first spot in the men's Money in the Bank match for this year. Don't throw Daniel Bryan off of it.
No, we're not going to throw Daniel Bryan off of it.
Thank you.
Nope, the only person that we're throwing off is Jeff Hardy.
Okay. Not Shane McMahon?
No, because he would jump off. We wouldn't have to throw him off.
That's fair. Daniel Bryan is currently, as of time of recording, the only SmackDown competitor in the match, but he will be joined by 3 Raw competitors, the first of which, Apollo Crews, managed to defeat MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, MVP's got a bit of a weird WWE career at the moment, sort of jumping between some in-rings and being a mouthpiece, but Apollo Crews will be in your Money in the Bank ladder match, as will be Rey Mysterio, who was able to defeat Murphy.
That one I don't understand.
Yeah, I fully thought Murphy was on the winning side of that match when it was announced. I guess maybe there was gonna be... Nope, I'm looking at the match. It's not going to be an overbalance of good guys and bad guys. Okay, I don't understand it, definitely. I would have thought, you let the young dude Murphy give it a go. Ray is Ray. I don't think I'm sitting here going, oh, maybe Ray will win it. I just don't think he will. If Murphy was in the match, maybe they pull the trigger and give the Money in the Bank briefcase to Murphy.
No.
Maybe.
And it's not because I don't want him to win it. It's because I'm pretty sure what would happen with the briefcase.
Gotcha. Well, ignoring your future.
Yeah, because I would believe he would end up being forced to turn the briefcase over to Seth. So he would never get the chance to use it.
Yeah. That's true. It's possible. But it doesn't really matter because Rey Mysterio is the one who won that match and has booked himself a slot in that Money in the Bank match. And then the final competitor from Raw will be Aleister Black as he manages to defeat Austin Theory.
We finally have somebody who could win it from Raw.
I gotta say, he's my front runner at the moment from the people we've talked about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that... I mean, Daniel Bryan doesn't need it. He's already won one. Apollo Crews is like, why? Why is he even in the match? Other than to do some cool flip spot that ultimately won't mean anything? And then there's Ray, who's like the veteran who... Sure, it would be cool to see him hold one of the titles one last time. But does he need the briefcase? No. So yeah, right now it's Aleister Black or nobody.
Well, we've got two more competitors from SmackDown who will be joining the ranks, potentially already in there. Obviously, we record this a day earlier. But one of the matches we do know, King Corbin will be taking on Drew Gulick.
Corbin's going to win. I want Gulick to win, though. But there's gotta be some heels in this freaking match.
That's exactly where I was going. Corbin has to win. There's just way too many faces. Maybe Rey Mysterio can get taken out before the show by Murphy still to get that spot back. But yeah, that one looks like it's going to be King Corbin's spot. And I think the same argument applies where Aleister Black is definitely the front runner from that group of five.
Yeah. Although I could see Corbin winning another one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, he won one before, but it was probably the most pathetic cash-in of the all time. And he's a lot stronger now as a heel than he was then. So I could see him getting redemption. He would also be the first person to have won 2 of the pay-per-view Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Mm-hmm. Well, this last little competitor is TBD as well. And presumably if they are going 3-3, it will be a competitor from the SmackDown side. So I'm going to open it up wide. We're going to go to the Superstars page and we're going to see who do you think could be that 6th competitor. Bearing in mind that Apollo Crews is in it, so arguably anybody could be. But who do you think logically it will be?
I have an idea.
Okay.
John Morrison.
Okay, we got to accelerate that. We'll get to that. I think we might play a song before we talk about it, but yeah. That means no Jeff Hardy, though.
Yeah, that'd be true.
We've got options. I think they've just mentioned that Elias might be a little hurt at the moment, but there's options there. I think I'm going to just scroll down the page and flick a few options out into the air. Dolph Ziggler might be too busy with Otis, but we got Elias, Jeff Hardy potentially, John Morrison if they split, potentially the Hacker if we're going to accelerate that one, but I don't think that's ready to end yet. Sheamus. We still got Shinsuke from the Artist Collective that hasn't had a qualifying match. And then that's about it. Oh, and maybe the Forgotten Sons if they're going to push one of them into singles stardom. I think looking at that list of people, you might go with your J-Mo. My preference is going to be Sheamus. I think.
Yeah, but if you're putting Sheamus in, that's somebody who's already won one.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I kind of want that last spot to be by somebody who hasn't won one and could really use one. And to at least give it somebody other than Aleister Black all right, this is somebody who could win it, rather than it being Aleister Black and then the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because if it's Sheamus, it's Aleister Black in the field.
No, Sheamus could win. What are you on? Sheamus has done nothing since coming back except take out jobbers and Shorty G. Okay? The guy is due for something. And at the moment, they're just floundering and giving him nothing. This is the chance. Accelerate him. Have him cash in on Raw. Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. The old school feud from back in the British wrestling days. There's an option.
Yeah, but that probably means he loses.
Probably, yes. Probably. I'm sorry. I don't know. At the moment, I guess it does depend what's happening with the Strowman-Wyatt match, but I don't see anyone in that field, black or otherwise, that'll successfully cash in on these guys. Like, I think Drew's going to have a bit of a long run. I don't know about Strowman and Wyatt.
That's why I said I think it depends on who wins that Money in the Bank ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could definitely see a situation where Strowman overcomes the odds and retains the title, but he gets taken out by the Fiend. And then suddenly the briefcase owner comes out and cashes in and takes the title.
Yeah,
and then you don't...
That would lean towards a heel winner, wouldn't it? Which we've got none at the moment. I don't know.
It wouldn't be the first time that somebody cashing in with the briefcase as a face turned heel with it.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It also wouldn't be the first time where someone with a briefcase wouldn't necessarily be their gimmick. Like, I don't know if I could see Aleister Black coming up out of the crypt with his arms crossed and a briefcase at his feet. You know? It's the business vampire. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see who that sixth man is and whether any of the other men in the middle change or hop about, which we will know in a couple weeks when we end up doing our proper Money in the Bank preview. But for now, we will be sliding on into our entrance theme of the week, and that it is Charlotte Flair. She did win the NXT Championship at WrestleMania 36, and when we get back, we will be talking a little bit about her as well. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. That was Charlotte Flair's theme, and I promised to talk about her a little bit because she has a date with Io Shirai.
Yeah, that should be a really interesting match. And I know, based on what I've read, that she's really killing it up in NXT right now. And in all honesty, that's probably the best thing that they could have done with the title. Because, seriously, who's better in the business than Charlotte right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to work out well. My number one worry is that Io's going to lose, just because I like Io. We're having a good period with people who Grady likes doing pretty well. And he's trying to shoehorn Sheamus in to make it even better. But he's having a good run. Io back from injury, wins the ladder match. Getting on a roll. But is she going to hit the brick wall that is Charlotte Flair?
Probably. Because I don't think Io's the one that takes down Charlotte. That said, the person I thought was going to be it ended up being moved to Raw, so...
Yeah, me too.
I have no idea who's going to be the one that takes down Charlotte. But whoever it is going to get one heck of a rub.
And potentially that match happening at Money in the Bank, I don't quite know, or on NXT. Either I've missed the announcement or not, but I do know that Charlotte Flair is front and center on the Money in the Bank poster. Potentially leaning towards it happening at that pay-per-view. But sticking in the women's division, we also have, as always, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match from Raw. Asuka managed to defeat Ruby Riott in her Money in the Bank qualifying match to become the first competitor entered.
Well, this should be interesting.
Well, it wasn't.
I definitely feel like the women's briefcase match is a ton more open than the men's right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can keep running it down because it wasn't a very good night for former Riot Squad members as Sarah Logan lost to Shayna Baszler and then was swooshed out of the company, quote-unquote, and Shayna Baszler enters the Money in the Bank field, and then later on, Kairi Sane ends up losing to Nia Jax leading to the Raw competitors being Asuka, Baszler, and Jax.
That's a triple threat main event somewhere.
It's definitely 3 legitimate threats to win. Put it that way. And then if we look over onto the SmackDown side, all we know so far is that by hell or high water, Dana Brooke managed to defeat Naomi and book herself a Money in the Bank spot.
Woo!
Yeah, I wanted to woo as well, but I'm way too close to the microphone. Quite happy about it. Do I think she'll win? No.
Not a chance.
But will she have a cool spot? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there'll be a moment where you think, are they really doing this? But at the last second, she'll get taken out.
Mm-hmm.
She'll have her hands on the briefcase, but not able to take it down.
And then in potentially what might be an easy one, the only other match announced coming up this SmackDown, I believe, Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks to see who will qualify for the 5th spot.
Yeah, I feel like it's a slam dunk for Sasha.
We have the opposite here with so many heels in this match. Yes or no? I don't know. I feel like either Sasha's in it, in which case she jumps up to one of my front runners to win, or Lacey Evans is in it and Sasha Banks versus Bayley will happen organically while the Money in the Bank women's briefcase will head towards the Raw side of things. I feel like it's one of those 2 options. I feel like if Sasha's in it, Sasha's winning.
Yeah, I definitely feel that's the direction we're going. I think Sasha's probably got her best shot at actually winning the briefcase going forward this year. If it's not this year, it won't happen. But I think we definitely need something to progress the will they or won't they fight storyline that we've had for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've also got one more spot for the woman coming from SmackDown. And I'm taking a look at the roster. We've got Women's Tag Champ Alexa Bliss, Carmella, who's on a bit of a leave of absence at the moment, Ember Moon, who's also nowhere to be seen, Mandy Rose, potentially, Mickie James is technically on the roster, Women's Tag Champ Nikki Cross, Sonya Deville, and that's all you got. So really, out of people who are being actively featured, you got Sonya, Mandy, and the Women's Tag Champs.
Give me Nikki.
Okay. I'll give you Nikki. I don't think I can. I don't think I have the legal jurisdiction to, but I'll give you her.
That would be one crazy match if Nikki's in it. Because the stuff she does is absolutely insane. Because it makes me think back to the Last Man Standing match she had with Asuka on NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we need a few more faces in here. I could potentially see the match being something like Sonya Deville versus Nikki, given who we got left, and then Mandy coming out to distract Sonya to continue the Mandy, Sonya, Otis, Ziggler feud separate to the Money in the Bank. I don't think they're going to get tied up into it. I think they'll stay separate to it, which does kind of only leave you with Bliss and Cross. So that is potentially the option we go with. But one more thing to talk about before we run out of time on the air. We do have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and this is where you were leading with your potentially John Morrison in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, Morrison was able to retain the titles. Unfortunately for his partner, The Miz, was not able to.
And I think that is definitely going to open a rift between the two. It's not a good sign, and it shows your weak link.
Yeah.
It's really a case of when, not if.
Yeah, so I could actually see a qualifying match having be formed between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting. It's just, so, and we keep dancing around it. Yeah, the New Day are the tag team champions again.
Oh, are we? Yeah. New Day for the 16th, 17th time, something like that?
8th.
Yeah, close enough.
One behind the Dudleys.
Close enough. 8 and 16 are really close together.
Well, technically, since it's a tag team title, 8 times 2 is 16.
That's true, but 3 of them hold it, so 8 times 3 is 24. They have 24 belts.
Yeah, but the third guy's not been there for the last 3 reigns.
So 21. That's still more than the Dudleys. 9 times 2, 18.
Yes. Well, you have to deduct 6, not 3.
Oh, no. Okay, this has now become the maths portion of the radio show, where we just throw a bunch of math around. And what really that means is that we are probably running to the end and we are out of time. It's been great talking to you.
Bye-bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we'll catch you next week.